At meron kasi akong isang vlog na napapanood na abogado na ipinipilit yung Article 159 at medyo pinipintasan si Attorney Claire Castro dahil mali daw yung position niya at yung mga position pa ng ibang abogado. Palagay ko mababa grade nito sa sa international law nung nasa law school. Buenos dias, buenos tardes, buenas noches, mga amigos, mga amigas, mga kumpanyeros, mga kumpanyeras. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ito po muli ang inyong lingkod, Attorney Rene Bueno. Bueno, for this episode, we will be discussing something about this statement of the former Solicitor General na si Attorney Guevara, Attorney Maynardo Guevara. Dahil nitong nakarang araw ay nagbitaw po siya ng isang statement na kung saan ay he will not be able to represent and defend the officials of the government in relation to the petition for the issuance of the writ of habeas corpus filed by the children of the former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Ayan, nag-issue ang ating Korte Suprema ng order na sagutin ng Office of the Solicitor General yung petition for the issuance of the writ of habeas corpus. Unfortunately, ang statement ng ating Solgen ay he cannot represent and defend the said officials on legal matters and legal proceedings involving the government. Paano yan? No? Kasi if we will try to analyze si Attorney Guevara, who is now the incumbent Solgen, previously, nag-work yan under the administration of Noynoy Aquino as Commissioner of the Philippine Competition. At yan din ay appointed as Justice Secretary during the time of Rodrigo Roa Duterte. At 3 years ago nga, siya ay naging Solgen. But let us try to remember nung siya pa ay Secretary of Justice. Nung Secretary of Justice pa yan, under the Duterte administration, siyempre ang position nila during that time is that the International Criminal Court lacks jurisdiction to hear and decide the case of Rodrigo Roa Duterte and other co-perpetrators regarding these extrajudicial killings. So, kasi during their time, particularly on March 17, 2019, ang ating pong bansa ay nag-withdraw na as a signatory of the Rome Statute as a member of the International Criminal Court. So, ang position ni Solgen during that time is that the ICC lacks jurisdiction and you cannot hear and decide cases involving extrajudicial killings because we are no longer part of the International Criminal Court. We are no longer a signatory to the Rome Statute. Winidro na namin So, hindi kayo pwedeng makailam dito sa amin pagdating sa Commission of Serious Crimes na katulad niyang mga crimes against humanity, genocide, war crimes, crime of aggression, wala. Hindi kayo pwedeng makialam dito. And you need to respect the sovereignty of our country. And kung meron man silang violation of the law, then it is the Philippine government who must start or initiate the investigation to hear and decide cases involving extrajudicial killing. So, yun ang position nila. Kaya lang ang problema nangyari, ito na nga, dumating si President Bongbong Marcos na pwesto, nanalo sa eleksyon. Ang inappoint niyang Solgen itong si dating Secretary of Justice na si Guevara. At ngayon nga nagka-problema nagkaroon ng arguments ngayon sa pagkakaaresto kay dating Pangulong Duterte. The group of the former presidents say that it was an illegal arrest. So, illegal arrest, illegal detention. Kaya naman itong mga anak ay nag-file ng habeas corpus. So, kinonsolidate yan. So, that it is already a consolidated cases of petition for the issuance of the writ of habeas corpus. So, ang analysis natin dito is the fact that the former Secretary of Justice and now Solicitor General Maynardo Guevara is that there will be a conflict of interest in this case if he will represent and defend the officials of the government regarding this case, ICC case. Bakit kanyo? Kasi ang personal view niya and the stand of the previous government, of which he was the Secretary of Justice, is that the ICC lacks jurisdiction over the case. Ngayon, pumasok siya dito sa opisina ni President Marcos Jr. as a Solgen, ididepensa niya ngayon yung legality and validity of the arrest and detention of the former president. So, magkakaroon ng clash of his previous opinion, legal opinion, and yung kanyang present opinion ngayon. So, magkakaroon ng conflict of interest because kung hahawakan niya to, magra-run counter doon sa dati niyang position. So, that is why ang decision niya is not to represent and to defend the official or the respondents in the case. At pangalawa, nakikita din niya siguro dito, pwede niyang i-argue na magkakaroon dito ng ethical na meron akong ethical obligations dito na it might affect my legal profession, no? And kapag hinawakan ko 'yan, may ethical obligation consequence to. So hindi ko pwedeng depensahan at i-represent. So kung iintindihin natin yung position ni Solgen, medyo parang maunawaan mo. But for him, kung gano'n na magiging position niya, it would be better on the part of the Solgen to resign. Kasi, ang argument kasi ng government dito is this. If you are the Solicitor General, you are under obligation and you are mandated by law to represent and defend officials of the government on all legal matters, in all legal proceedings involving the government. So, wala kang lusot dyan. So, pag inutusan ka ng presidente, ano magpiprevail? Is it the position or is it the legal position of the government that the ICC has jurisdiction over the case, or your personal views or your previous legal stand when you were still Secretary of Justice under the Duterte administration? Siyempre, magpiprevail dapat yung legal position ng present administration. And you need to set aside your personal legal views on the matter. So, kaya wala kang kawala. The thing is that, kung ganun mangyayari, you need to tender your resignation as Solicitor General. Kasi it would be impractical on the part of the government that if you will refuse to handle the case and represent the respondents, abay, alangan namang mag-hire yan ng private lawyers. Alangan namang ipasa yan sa ibang lawyers in other branches of the government. Sino magre-represent? Kaya ka nga nandyan you are the lawyer of the government and you need to represent officials of our government in all legal matters, in all legal proceedings involving the government. So wala kang choice but for you to tender your resignation with the President. Talagang gano'n ang mga naglilingkod sa ating bayan kapag naiipit ka sa mga ganyang pagkakataon, magre-resign ka na lamang. Kasi isa pa, baka masira yung reputasyon mo dyan pag pinagpatuloy mo yan at ikaw ay mapaghihinalaan na kumakampi sa previous administration. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng tao ay mauunawaan ang iyong kalagayan bilang abogado. Abogado ni Noynoy, abogado ni Duterte, at sa kasalukuyan nga ay Solicitor General ka ng administrasyon ni Bongbong Marcos. So, the best thing for you to do is to tender your resignation. So, madami kasing conflicting legal opinions dito sa jurisdiction ng ICC. Merong nagsasabi na may jurisdiction ng ICC, pero nagsasabi na wala ng jurisdiction because of power withdrawal from the ICC. Pero sa akin, binanggit ko na to sa mga previous vlogs ko, that the ICC has jurisdiction over the case of former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte dahil may Supreme Court decision dyan na all serious crimes committed by the former president when we were still a member of the International Criminal Court, the ICC has jurisdiction. So after that, after March 17, 2019, doon nawala. Pero before March 17 hanggang 2016, miski hanggang 2011, may jurisdiction ng ICC sa atin. So all crimes committed during those period from the time that we became a member up to 2019 of March 17, may jurisdiction sila dyan. Yan ay supported by a Supreme Court decision penned by Supreme Court Justice Marvic Leonen. Marami po kasing nagsasabi na ang pagkaka-aresto sa dating Pangulo ay illegal. So therefore, yung kanyang detention ngayon sa The Hague, Netherlands ay illegal din. Sapagkat ang opinion ng iba ay dapat ipinatupad yung Article 159 of the Rome Statute. Ano ba tong Article 159 of the Rome Statute? Sinasabi dito na kapag inaresto na nga yung akusado, yung suspect under this case of the International Criminal Court, ay may obligasyon yung custodial state, yung bansa natin, na dalhin ang akusado sa isang competent judicial authority upang matingnan kung siya nga ba yung nakalagay sa warrant of arrest, kung valid ba yung warrant of arrest, at madami pang mga legal na usapin upang ma-validate yung order issued by the International Criminal Court. So, ang sabi ng iba, bakit hindi nyo pinadaan sa isang competent judicial authority? Kung hindi nyo ipinadaan yan sa competent judicial authority, the arrest is therefore illegal. And yung pagkakadetine sa The Hague, Netherlands ay illegal din. And this is the reason why the children of the former president filed a petition for the writ of habeas corpus to produce the body of the accused, President Duterte. So Rule 159 ang sinasabi ng ibang abogado at pinagpipilitan nila yan. Pero ang sabi ng isang dean ng School of Law na si Dean Ralph Sarmiento ng De La Salle University, Bacolod City, ay this Article 159 no longer applies to the Philippines because we are no longer a signatory and a member of the International Criminal Court. That particular Article 159 refers to the members of the International Criminal Court, refers to the signatories of the Rome Statute. And if we have already withdrawn our membership from the International Criminal Court, then we are no longer under obligation to follow Article 159 of the Rome Statute. So therefore, if we will not follow that, because hindi naman tayo signatory dyan, there is no obligation on the part of the custodial state, the Philippines, to bring the arrested person to a competent judicial authority. Ano ba ang nag-prevail na batas, upang masabing legal ang pagkaka-aresto at pagkakadetine kay former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte? The domestic law over that international law, yung Rome Statute. So, ang nag-prevail dito, the domestic law. Dahil tayo po ay may domestic law na may kinalaman din sa pagpapatupad ng mga krimen, mga serious crimes, mga crimes against humanity. Na kapag ang isa daw tao na inaakusahan ng serious crimes na may relasyon doon sa Rome Statute at merong kasalukuyang pagdinig o investigasyon na isinasagawa at nag-issue nga ng order ang International Criminal Court, ang ating bansa ay may option na isurrender yung tao na yan sa custody ng International Police at ng International Criminal Court upang siya doon ay litisin sa The Hague, Netherlands. So yun po ang dahilan at yun ang legal na batayan ng Pilipinas kung bakit atin pong isinorender ang dating presidente na si Rodrigo Roa Duterte sa International Police because of our own domestic law that we have the option, the legal option to surrender the arrested person to an international body to conduct the hearing, to hear and decide the case of Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Naalala ko nung kami ay sa School of Law, meron kasing dalawang legal theories pagdating dito sa conflict of international law vis-a-vis the domestic law. Yung meron tinatawag na dualism and monism. Madalas ibigay sa exam yan, alam yan ng mga law student. If there is a conflict between which should prevail, yung international law ba, yung domestic law. So, depende sa sitwasyon. Kasi pag tinawag mong dualism theory, no, it is the dualism views international law as a separate and distinct legal order, no? Nagkakaroon pa kasi diyan ng application of the transformation doctrine. Yung transformation doctrine, ang ibig sabihin niyan sa international law ay kinakailangan gumawa pa ng isang batas ang isang bansa upang ang isang tratado, yung international treaty ay maging parte ng batas ng isang bansa na miyembro ng isang international organization. So, separate siya and distinct from the international law. So, in case of conflict, no, between international law and domestic law, the domestic law will prevail, no? Kasi sa sitwasyon na to, nag-withdraw tayo doon sa sa Rome Statute, sa International Criminal Court. So we are no longer a signatory. So it is no longer considered as part of the law of the land, yung Rome Statute. So nawala yung transformation na doctrine. So considered as separate and distinct yung ating domestic law. So in case of conflict, domestic law will prevail. Alam na mga abogado yan. At meron kasi isang vlog na napapanood na abogado na ipinipilit yung Article 159 at medyo pinipintasan si Atty. Claire Castro dahil mali daw yung position niya at yung mga position pa ng ibang abogado. Palagay ko mababa grade nito sa sa international law nung nasa law school to. Yung isa pang theory, yung monism. Yung monism theory, unified legal system, no? At kapag nagkaroon ng conflict, no? Parang isa lang siya. Hindi katulad dun sa dualism theory na separate and distinct. That in case of conflict, mangingibabaw yung domestic. Pero sa monism theory, considered as one and unified ang legal system that in case of conflict between international law and domestic law, international law will prevail. So yan po, So tandaan niyo yan Pag may nagtanong sa inyo, bakit hindi in-apply kasi yung Article 159? Dapat sinubmit si Duterte sa isang competent judicial authority. Diba? Sa isang husgado, pinag-uusapan pa nila yung, hindi naman husgado yung pulis, hindi naman husgado yung CIDG, blah, 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 blah. Ang dami sinabi, no? Yun lang po yun. Yung dalawang theory na yun sa international law. Dualism, monism, theories, no? Pinag-aaralan yan. Second year College of Law yata yan, So, actually, masarap pag-aralan yung international law at madalas ding ibinibigay sa bar exam yan. No, well, I still remember when I took the bar, tinanong pa nga yung sino yung chairman o presidente ng International Criminal Court na dinisregard ng chairperson ng bar exam yung question kasi pati ba naman niya itatanong niyo, malay niya kung sino yung chairman at mga judges ng International Criminal Court. So bonus points 'yan. So yan po ang ating pinag-usapan tungkol sa recusal of the Solicitor General, no? At bakit ganun ang position niya? It is because of his own personal legal views at sa kanyang naging legal views when he was still Secretary of Justice, magkakaroon ng conflict of interest because the position now of the present administration is that the arrest is legal and valid. At pagdating naman dito sa arrest, kung valid and legal, definitely legal, no? Valid ang arrest because of the fact that what we have implemented is the domestic law. So if someone will invoke the Article 159 of the Rome Statute, that will not be applicable to us because we are no longer a member of the International Criminal Court, because the provisions of the Rome Statute apply only to member of the International Criminal Court and the signatories to this Rome Statute. So what will be applied is the domestic law. So, sana po naintindihan nyo, no? At may mga juris nga tayong binanggit, the dualism jury and the monism jury under the international law, that in the event of conflict between international law and domestic law will be applied according to dualism jury, and if there is conflict of international law versus the domestic law, the international law will be applied according to monism jury. So hanggang dito na lamang po mga amigos, mga amigas. Sana po wag niyo pong kalimutan mag-subscribe, mag-like at i-share niyo po itong video na to nang tayo po ay makapagbigay ng karagdagang kaalaman sa ating mga viewers, mga kasamahan, sa ating mga subscribers also na minsan nakakalimutang sumunod dito sa ating mga pinag-uusapan sa ating YouTube channel na Attorney Rene Bueno. So hanggang sa muli po, marami pong salamat sa inyong patuloy na pagtangkilik sa aking YouTube channel.